Hello and welcome to another episode of the Popcorn King, the full show. This must be episode, 29 or something? Who's keeping count? Certainly not me. So, I've seen some great films this past week, finished some incredible series, and I can't wait to get into it, which I'm just gonna do right away with the first film that I saw. And it was a little movie that I saw at the cinema, and it is called Running Man. So Running Man is the brand new Edgar Wright movie, directed by Edgar Wright, and it's starring Glen Powell, who's the new Hollywood leading man, Amelia Jones, Josh Brolin, Common Domingo, and a couple of other actors that I haven't really heard of. Oh, William H. Macy's in it, and Michael Cera's in it. Wow, it's quite a lot. It's a good cast, really great cast. So yes, what is this film about? It's called The Running Man, and it's a remake of that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, which was It's not a remake of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Why did I say that? Arnold Schwarzenegger movie came from the Stephen King novel. And this movie also comes from that Stephen King novel. Stephen King's having quite a good moment, right? With it, Welcome to Derry, which is really good. I'm really, really enjoying that on Now TV. Earlier on this year, it had that walking movie, The Long Walk. Is it called The Long Walk? The movie where people just walk and walk and walk, and the last one walking wins a lot of money. Wins whatever they want. And then this film, The Running Man, which in a similar vein, it's all about that sort of dystopian future where there's some form of entertainment which requires death as the ultimate unscripted sort of human drama that people can watch. And people who are desperate for something in life are sort of forced into do these things. So really interesting concept. And I have to say, I loved this movie. This is just a wonderful, wonderful blockbuster. Really, really fun to watch. And Edgar Wright he's got such a youthful energy about him. He's so good. I mean, obviously, most people got to know him through Shaun of the Dead. I loved his series Spaced. I loved the whole Cornetto trilogy that he did. I liked all of it. And I really, really enjoyed Scott Pilgrim versus the World, whatever it's called. And then also that sort of heist movie as well with the car chasers. That was so good as well. So he's just batting at, I don't know the phrase because I'm not American. Batting at 100? He's batting a really high score at the moment. And he's a filmmaker that... It's not that he doesn't take himself seriously, because he obviously does. He's very serious about the type of movie that he wants to make. And these movies they really love the medium of movie. They love it. They really indulge in... This is the sort of thing that wouldn't happen in real life, but it will happen in the world of movies. He really indulges in that. And he references it. And it's so fun to watch. And I really love that. There's a moment in this where Glen Powell is hanging from a rope from a building. And the rope is tied to a sign, especially the letter Y. And as that Y sort of bends down and starts to break, and he's like almost gonna fall, and he looks up and he sees the rope tied to that letter Y, and Glen Powell goes, "Why?" And it's like, that's so good. It's so referential and cheeky and silly, and it's almost like every line. This is what Edgar Wright's really great at, right? But it's like every single line is that's a good line. That's a great movie line. It's not trying to be hyper realistic in any sense. It's not like, oh, this is really natural human dialogue. No, this is movie dialogue, and Edgar Wright loves movie dialogue, and it's one-liners and it's buttons of scenes. You know, that button of the scene. It's so good. It's that real classic Edgar Wright wit. And like a lot of his movies, there is especially in this movie, this social commentary is probably the loudest his social commentary's ever been, which is this whole class war between rich and the poor, and the stuff that poor people are sort of forced to do, and the hard decisions that poor people are forced to make. My friend, Zach Polanski, he's currently the leader of the Green Party, and he says this really eloquently. It's like, yeah, when countries have to make really tough decisions, why is it always the poor people that have to make those tough decisions? Why is it never the billionaires and the millionaires that have to make those really tough decisions? It's always laid down on the poor people. And films like this are showing you, it's not, you're not seeing any sort of rich, privileged people having to join the game show The Running Man. It's people who are desperate. They have to make that difficult decision. And yeah, it's just great. This great social commentary. Stephen King is doing really, really well. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger remake movies, even though it's not really a remake. But yeah, like, I just watched Predator Badlands as well. An Arnold Schwarzenegger sort of university remake. Now Running Man as well. Like, his movies are sort of prime for remaking and making up to date. But yeah, just a wonderful movie. This is a real movie, if that makes any form of sense to you. Like, it's just a movie. There's no, oh, you're going to forget you're in a cinema type of thing. You know, like, sometimes you say, like, some of the best movies are the movies that can completely transport you, and you can just completely forget that you're even watching a movie, and you're just completely transfixed. This isn't that. This movie consistently seems to remind you it's a movie, but in the best possible way. Like, yeah, I'm in a cinema. I'm eating popcorn. This is a blockbuster. That's a great one-liner. That's a great action hero. That's a great car chase. That's a great action scene. Like, everything is so good. Michael Cera's really good in it. Like, Michael Cera's having a great year. He might have to be, like, one of the MVPs of the year. I've got a couple in mind, so these sort of MVPs of the year. But Michael Cera, sometimes I don't like his shtick, but this year he's really stepped away from his shtick, and with the, what was that movie he was in where you know what of him? Well, you know the movie he was in earlier this year, the Wes Anderson movie, whatever it's called, and now this movie he's really, really good at doing different types of roles. Like, why isn't he been doing this his whole career? Like, don't get me wrong, I love him in Scott Pilgrim, and I don't mind him in Superbad, and I don't mind him in Arrested Development, but it's all this same character. It's just the same sort of Michael Cera guy, and he's totally fine at that role. He's just Michael Cera, but he can do a lot more. Like, this year has showed it. He's got range. He's got a really great acting skill in his bones that he can use. So yeah, I totally recommend this film. Please go and watch this film. Friday night, mixed bag of, like, giant popcorn bucket, mixed salt, mixed and sweet, you know, nice big Coke or whatever, and just have a great time. It's just the best. It's probably going to be in my top 10 of the year. It's just the sort of best time you can have at the cinema, you know? The absolute funniest, most cinematic-y time you can have. And I really hope you guys let me know what you think if you've seen it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, there's a movie on in the background, as always. Let me know if you can, or if you know what movie is, if you've worked it out, that sort of blurry, just over my shoulder movie. If you've worked it out, please type it in the comments below. And if you're the first person to type it in the comments below, you get 10 points. That's what you get. 10 whole points. And just let me know what you thought about The Running Man, and hit that like button, that subscribe button, smash all the buttons on your keyboard. I would absolutely love it. If you did that, I would love it. Now I'm going to be doing a review of a series that has just finished last week. It's a reality TV show, and it is, of course, called Celebrity Traitors. This series is so good. It's so good. Like, what an incredible TV show. One of the best TV shows of the year. The BBC have done it again. I know the BBC are in a little bit of trouble at the moment. But they have done it again, and it's just incredible. So this was the first time the UK has done celebrity traitors. Before it's always been non-celebrities, but they've done celebrity traitors in other countries, I believe. So this is the first time the UK has done it, and this is going to be spoilery McSpoilerson spoilery spoiler as a review, because I have lots to say about it. So this show is the reason that it shows the reason why reality TV, non-scripted drama, just hits a bit differently to the drama that you get to see in movies and stuff. Obviously, there's some incredible emotions that I've had in the cinema this year. So, for example, I Swear just had me on the edge of tears and on the edge of laughter the whole way through that film. So well done. And you look at it and you go, that's a great performance. What a wonderful performance. But it's still a performance, right? This really isn't. Like, as much as these are all celebrities who are trained to be in the media and trained to be on TV and stuff, there's only so much you can do a performance for that amount of time. They are actually lying to each other and actually voting each other out and actually, doing the murders in the night. And so they've really, there's not much to pretend to do in terms of, they might have to play up their TV or media personality slightly, but in terms of the things that they need to do in the show, there's not much they can pretend. They've got to work it out, right? It's kind of real in that sense. So some of the celebrities that I absolutely loved in this, Stephen Fry, just one of the most charming, cleverest people you'll watch. Him just clocking it from the get-go. Like, it's kind of useless even having these roundtables because there's no way to really know if anyone's lying or not. And he said in one of the really early episodes, why don't we try a different strategy and we could just vote without having the debate, without having the arguments back and forth, because we want to eliminate the amount of influence that the traitors are going to have on this conversation, because we have no idea who the traitors are. We're all about to have a long conversation. Who knows how long these conversations actually last, but in the TV show it's like 10 to 15 minutes this scene. And he's like, yeah, we're going to have this long conversation where some of the traitors will be trying to influence and steer it, and we'll be falling for it because that's all we do. We just absorb and react to influences all the time. So we'll just be falling for it. So why not do it without the debate? Great idea. Another great idea he had is, okay, well, in like a later episode, he was like, okay, well, here's another thing we could try. The traitors have to stay up much later than the rest of us other celebrities. We get to go to bed, but the traitors have to stay up much later because they have to murder someone in the evening. So they've got to go up to the turret with all the cameras and stuff, and then they've got to choose who they're going to murder. And I guess that whole ordeal in TV world takes a while. So they get much less sleep. So let's look at who seems to be the absolute sleepiest. And he immediately clocked it with Kat, who is a traitor. He clocked it right away. Kat was asleep today, just by the windowsill. She was just asleep. He got it in like an objective sort of scientific way. He completely got the nail on the head, and that's so clever. Then you had Nick Mohammed, also extremely clever, saying early on, he was like, yeah, what I kind of do believe Kat is a traitor and Jonathan is a traitor, so instead of voting them out in the round table, or banish them in the round table, I guess what I'm going to try and do is not make myself seem like a threat, because the other thing that the faithfuls have to do is not get murdered, right? So if I seem like someone who's completely on Cat Burns and Jonathan's side, like if Cat Burns hears me talking to other people going, oh no, I completely believe Cat is a faithful, or Jonathan Ross hears me going, oh yeah, I completely believe Jonathan's a faithful, and I chat with them really friendly, and they really think, okay, Nick Mohammed is completely unaware that we are traitors, so murdering him almost seems like a giant waste. Like, he's actually helping us, he's deflecting people away, but he was doing it kind of deliberately, right? And another really, really, really clever strategy. um Obviously, as it got towards the end, it seemed obvious that, to me it seemed obvious that Cat Burns wasn't gonna make it out, because she was the only girl left, and this is the BBC. It's all about equality these days, so it just made sense that probably if there's three traitors, probably at least one of them is a girl, a female. So Kat was the only female left in the end. So I really, by the time we got to the last episode, I was like, well, she's not going to survive. She's definitely going to get voted off. She's the only female, so it just makes complete and utter sense for them to just vote her out. Joe Marler, a bit of a straight talker, just hard to read if he's a little bit angry at you or if he's joking. And it might come across as a little bit, a little bit antagonistic. But he was hitting the nail on the head as well. And he managed to get to the final episode. Just so many things. One of the things I did kind of notice was, whilst watching this, and I should have known this from the beginning, but let's say you start with 19 people, right? And you're going to start with 3 traitors. There's the first, like, I don't know, the first 5, 6, 7 round tables really don't matter in terms of banishing a traitor, because the show is never going to allow you to banish all the traitors so that there's 0 traitors by episode 3 or 4. The traitors are always going to have to recruit. So it really, absolutely 100% is completely and utterly pointless, or it makes no... You don't gain anything from voting out a traitor on episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, they're just going to recruit. They have to recruit so the TV show can go on. Like, those first bunch of banishings, there's no point even trying to find a traitor. What you should really be focusing on is not getting murdered. So I guess making yourself feel like not a threat, like Nick Mohammed was doing. But yeah, it really makes no difference. Those first few, like, yes, by the end, it makes a lot of difference because you need to get out all the traitors. And by, like, like the penultimate episode, you definitely got to get some traitors out. Even, I would say the last 3 round tables, you want to get traitors out at that point. But yeah, there's absolutely no point doing it at the beginning. They're just going to recruit. There will always just be traitors there. So you're not really winning anything or gaining anything by getting out a traitor in episode 1, 2, 3, or 4. You're just allowing people to be recruited, and that's extra things to add to your sort of mental analysis of everybody. So yeah. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the beauty of Alan Carr. Alan Carr is the MVP of the series. He was so good. So firstly, he's really, really witty, really, really funny, and just personable and likable. Now that ending, and I mentioned this before on maybe season 2 of The Traitors, but that ending, when he wins and he tells them, I am and always have been a traitor, and Nick goes, oh fuck. And David puts his head in his hands, and they realize, fuck, they got it wrong. that is a moment for the ages, right? That is a moment where the UK gasped. I mean, really, it's the moment when Nick agreed to end it. So the flames went green after Nick agreed to end it. Like, it was so stupid of them to allow all three of them. They should have voted one more off. Now, maybe Nick didn't want to vote one more off because he's the one who could have get voted off, maybe. David was sort of clueless. Alan Carr was obviously wanting to end it because he's a traitor, so it was down to Nick. And, yeah, the flame went green and the whole of the UK gasped. And then Alan Carr said, I'm a traitor. And then the human moment came out. The real human moment. And this is something that, again, it's the unscripted nature of just incredible reality TV, game shows, these sort of things. The unscripted drama. He started crying because it had been eating him up a lot to lie to all of his peers every single day. Lie, and it got to the very last moment, and these two guys who had charities in mind that they wanted to give a bunch of this money to, he lied to them so that those charities wouldn't get that money, and only Alan Carr's charity would get the money. And it tore him apart, and he broke down, he started crying. And he had been so strong throughout the whole show. And we've been watching him do like a performance, right, throughout the show. Almost like an acting, almost like a role. But like I said, at the end, he had to let go of that pretense because he didn't need to hold that anymore, and he could just be human. And to be that deceitful to people is so hard on the soul, so hard on you. And seeing him break down and cry, it was just, this is a real human moment, and I'm so happy to witness it. And it's Alan Carr's stock has gone right up. It's just so good, and he's such a lovely human being. And this was just one of the most glorious endings of a show I've seen. What a wonderful, incredible ending to Celebrity Traitors. I hope they do Celebrity Traitors again. Who knows who they might have in it? Maybe Jimmy Carr. He would be quite good. I don't know. There's so many people they could have on there. Alison Hammond. But yeah, great show. What did you think? Were you just as astounded as me by that ending? It was so perfectly good. And just so dramatic and amazing. Like, I loved every single bloody second of it. Please, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Let me know if you've sort of noticed what the movie is in the background. I always have a movie on in the background. If you can be the first person in the comments to type in the name of that movie, you will get 10 points, ladies and gentlemen. 10 whole points. That's what you will get. But yeah, what a freaking incredible series. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Smash that like button. I would just love it if you did that. Thank you. Now I'm going to be doing a review of another TV show that I've seen on TV that came out relatively recently, and this TV show is of course called Task. So Task is the brand new Mark Ruffalo series starring Mark Ruffalo, the rough stuff, and Amelia Jones, who has been in a few things recently. She was in Running Man, right? And then a few other actors that I didn't really know who they were. What did I think of this TV show? It was a solid show. I was invested. I was definitely invested. I liked the story. I'm going to read you the synopsis of it just in case you don't know. So, in the working class suburbs of Philadelphia, an FBI agent heads a task force to put an end to a string of violent robberies led by an unsuspected family man. Now, I don't know the sort of landscape of different USA states, the different states. But Philadelphia, I didn't know it was so like woods and greenery and lakes and waterfalls. In my mind, Philadelphia is like a city, where Tom Hanks has AIDS. but yeah, this is very much in the woods, in like the back sort of the outback, the Australian outback of America. It's in the woods, it's in the green grass and stuff, and you've got rough stuff. Just Mark Ruffalo just acting his ass off. He's great in this. I really, really, really enjoyed him. And also Amelia Jones, who is actually the girl from, I believe, I'm just going to double check, but I believe she's the girl from that movie Coda, which is just a great film. It's an incredible, incredible film. Um, yes, it's her. Really, really good. Coda. If you haven't seen Coda, it's the movie about the girl who has deaf parents, so she lives with deaf parents, and she wants to be a singer, and it's something that her parents can't really properly experience or understand. And yeah, just a great film. So anyway, but this series, she's really, really good in this series, and there's a subplot which is kind of a crazy, crazy subplot. I guess it's a spoiler. I mean, it's not really the main point of the show at all. I won't give a proper spoiler. Not that the show is full of like twists and turns, really. It's just a good police show. But yeah, there's a subplot where Mark Ruffalo. This is an insane subplot. So he used to be a vicar, priest, I guess that is. And then somehow he ends up marrying this lady who is an atheist, and he ends up not being a priest, and he starts working for the FBI. And they have a kid, but they also decide to adopt two kids. So they adopt a brother and a sister, and they bring the brother and sister up, and the brother kills the mum, kills Mark Ruffalo's atheist wife. And so the kid is in jail. And this is just a subplot, right? That's an insane. That could be the plot. That could be the story, but that's just a subplot. And yeah, it culminates in a really poignant moment where he still loves this kid as his adopted son. And he's also obviously really upset that he killed his wife. So yeah, it's like, okay, we're going to do this. It's kind of strange, right? We're going to do this police drug drama. So we're the FBI, we're looking for these drugs and stuff. And our main detective, he's going to be this guy in charge of this sort of ragtag team. But, let's give this main detective, an interesting subplot. And they give him that. Like, that's an insanely big, heavy subplot. They give him that gigantic, could be a movie on its own subplot. Like, that's behind Mark Ruffalo's eyes throughout this whole show. That's all the pain behind his eyes. And yeah, he does it really, really well. I do think it's like, well, that's a big subplot. Like, and it's not like it's a subplot that's mentioned that much. It happens in a couple of scenes here and there, and it's just kind of big. It's almost a little bit jarring, I have to say. The whole show in and of itself kind of reminded me of the series Untamed earlier this year, but this is a bit better than Untamed, I think, in my opinion. But let me know what you thought in the comments below. Tell me if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Did you think that subplot was just a bit out there, like a bit, whoa, this is heavy and big? And did you recognize what the movie is in the background, just over the shoulder? If you do, and you write it in the comments below, you'll get 10 points. And you can do with those points anything that you want, but please just hit that like button, hit that comment button, and then hit all the buttons on the keyboard when you're commenting, and then hit that subscribe button. Just hit all the buttons. I would love it if you did that. I would love, 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 love it. Now I'm going to be doing a review of a movie that I saw at the cinema, of course, and it is called Predator Badlands. This is the new movie in the Predator franchise. I'm kind of lost in terms of whether this is like connected to the old Predator movie, or is this like a brand new reboot of that? Is it connected to the Alien movie? So it was a Predator versus Alien. I mean, I feel like it's in some sense connected to the Alien universe, because they mentioned Yutani and Wayland and Yutani, whatever it's called, which are they're all the big billionaires that are occupying the world in Alien Earth, the TV series that came in. Um, so yeah, I'm a little bit confused as to what is what these days, but who cares? Who cares? So here's the synopsis. A young predator outcast from his clan finds an unlikely ally on his journey in search of the ultimate adversary. Sorry. This film is good. It's a good blockbuster. It's a fun blockbuster. It's not too bad. I didn't like love it, but it's just another fun blockbuster movie. A bit like, Running Man, I freaking loved. I thought Running Man was a great blockbuster. This is just a good blockbuster, just a good one. Bit strange to see. I feel like there's this thing in Hollywood where you get a really mysterious character and then you sort of strip it of all its mystery. I remember maybe the worst culprit of this was when they did Pitch Black, that Vin Diesel movie, years ago, which was the first movie I ever watched on DVD. When we got like a DVD player on our computer, played DVD players, so we all sat around the computer, my whole family, and watched Pitch Black. And that was the first DVD we watched, and it was great. And Vin Diesel plays this incredible, mysterious villain being transported in chains across the universe, and they crash into a planet and have to fight all these aliens. And he's just great in that film. And you're like, this is great. And his name is Riddick. And then they did the Chronicles of Riddick and just stripped away the badassery sort of mysteriousness of Riddick. And I feel like a lot of a lot of movies and TV shows are doing that at the moment. Like, for me, I'm not the biggest fan of the Mandalorian series because of that kind of reason. I prefer it as the mystery, if I'm honest with you. And so, yeah, this predator, this terrifying hunter who only Arnold Schwarzenegger could fight against. Yeah, we get to see him getting bullied by his brother, getting like beaten by his dad. Like, we get to see all the familial drama, which is just like, this is okay, fair enough. And then he goes to a planet to sort of prove himself to the predator world people. What are they called? They've got a really weird name, these predators. I don't remember, but his name is Dec. It's just a normal name. I don't know if you're in England, you just think of Ant and Dec. So for some reason he's got an Ant and Dec type of name. But yeah, it's weird to strip away that sort of element. But once you get over that, it's just a fun sort of almost like a buddy movie. So Ellie Fanning is great in it. She plays sort of multiple roles and does a really, really great job at doing that. Again, I'm a little bit confused as to, is this connected to Alien Earth, or is it just connected to all the Alien movies? Is everything connected these days? I have no idea. And it just brings up a really fun, it brings up a really interesting perspective of what it means to be an alpha male. So the Anton Dec character, the predator, he believes that the alpha male is the strongest, the one who can kill the most, that everyone's scared to fight, right? Ellie Fanning says that it's different with wolves. The alpha male is the one who stays at the back and protects everybody else. And they're not scared of him, they love him. And yeah, it's that whole kind of, there are different types of being an alpha, I guess. And one sense is this dependable, trustworthy figure of sort of strength, and someone who you know would fight for you if you ever needed it. And that's a really great thing to aim to be. This, if you want to ever be an alpha male, that's a great version of an alpha male to aim to be. I think so anyway. But let me know what you thought in the comments below. Did you like this movie? Or did you not like it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you can sort of recognize what the movie is just over the shoulder. Just over the shoulder. Because if you do, and you type that in the comments below, and you're the first person to type it, you will get 10 whole points. That's 10 points for you for guessing or working out what the movie is in the background, to be the first person to work that out. It's a wonderful film, by the way. An absolutely great film. But yes, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Hit that like button. Hit all the buttons. I would love it if you did that. I would love it. Now I'm going to be doing a review of a movie that I personally call Anemone. Although, is it called Anemone? I don't know how to say that word. Anemone, I'm going to say. This is the brand new Daniel Day-Lewis movie starring Daniel Day-Lewis, Sean Bean, or Sheen Bourne. I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm joking, it's Sean Bean. And this is the Ronan Day-Lewis directed movie. So it's directed by Daniel Day-Lewis's son and written by Daniel Day-Lewis and Ronan Day-Lewis together. So father-son project. What did I think of this movie? I'm going to tell you just after I read the synopsis. In northern England, a man heads out on a journey into the woods to reconnect with the estranged hermit brother with whom he shared a complicated past that was altered by life-changing events decades ago. I'm really bad at accents. But yeah, this movie is so. It's really hard for me to properly put my finger on what I think about this film. In one sense, it is an acting masterclass from Daniel Day-Lewis. He is great in this film. He is wonderful. He is the master of acting. And he's just sort of written himself these monologues for Sean Bean to just listen to. So Sean Bean sits there in the woods and Daniel Day-Lewis sort of acts at him and does all these monologues to him. And they're so well done. Like, they're incredibly well acted. But you can't help but think, is this a bit egotistical? Like, is this a bit Daniel Day-Lewis writing himself these incredible monologues, hiring Sean Bean to just sit there and listen to him? Like, it's crazy. So on one hand, I'm like, this is a great performance vehicle, but these monologues are written by the actual actor there. He's just doing a showcase of his acting abilities. And also the movie's a little bit, I don't know, not slow. Maybe it is quite slow. It's hard to say it's slow because there's rock and roll music, there's these giant hailstorms and stuff and that kind of thing. But it feels slow. I don't know, something slow about it. I think, personally, the director's a little bit too young. This is not a youthful film at all. And I think there's a slight tension between what Daniel Day-Lewis has... I mean, I don't know who wrote what. I really don't know. Maybe this whole thing was Ronan Day-Lewis's idea. But from what I've heard, Ronan Day-Lewis is like, I want to do something about brotherly love. And Daniel Day-Lewis came in and said, me too. And now it's become a movie about brotherly love, but brothers who are Daniel Day-Lewis's age. So something Daniel Day-Lewis can relate to, I guess. And Ronan Day-Lewis is a young guy, young up-and-coming director, and he's bubbling. You can tell he's bubbling with energy and ideas because there are things that are sort of in this movie that feel youthful. This striking imagery, this focus on wind, this giant hailstorm that comes out of nowhere. That's like almost like an end of the world kind of scene. And Daniel Day-Lewis is doing a brother versus brother catch-up movie about what it means to be living a life with a huge sense of guilt about things you've done in as your younger self, and maybe even a sense of guilt about what he's doing even now. And yeah, it really, I feel like it requires a director who understands maybe that a bit more and is not battling against that to give it the youthful energy, because it's got this rock and roll music, it's got these long zoom out sections whilst these brothers are dancing, and you're like, okay, this is good, this is fun, this is like, I don't know, energetic sort of rock and rollness. And then we have these like 20-minute long monologue scenes from Daniel Day-Lewis, which I think is the place where Daniel Day-Lewis wants to be in this movie. That's where he wants this movie to sit. And Daniel Day-Lewis Ronan Day-Lewis wants this movie to sit in a more abstract kind of imagery. Let's focus on giant fish and stuff and this shining thing in the water. Let's really focus on these, like, just bubbling with ideas almost, you know what I mean? Overflowing of ideas. He's trying to throw all these different ideas because he's young and he's got energy, and he's this director who wants to sort of explode his ideas on the screen. And Daniel Day-Lewis wants to sit calmly and just talk. He just wants to be the character and just talk. And so you've got these things sort of battling against each other, and I'm not sure that it fully reconciles. I think this movie may have been better if it was done by an older director, a more experienced director, a director who can relate a bit more to the story that they're telling. And maybe Ronan Day-Lewis could have been better served to write a brotherly story about younger brothers, maybe. Be something that he understands, be able to sort of inject a youthful energy into it, because at the moment it feels a bit here and there. The imagery didn't always, to me, make full sense, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, it's a real mixed bag I've got for you here. I really do think Daniel Day-Lewis is still at the top of his game. He plays a character with so many contradictions that never seems out of place. It's like, this is a fully realized person. So he is someone who has banished himself to atone for the sins of his past. And yet he has this anger against the world as well, even though he kind of has this anger against himself for what he did in the past. And he's got this anger against this world. And he's got this anger against his brother. He seems to be angry at a lot of things, but he's able to sort of live a quiet, gentle life in the woods. That's what he wants to do. So it's a bit of a juxtaposition, his character, if I'm honest with you, but he plays it so well that I completely believe this character, and I'm like, this is a real character, and it is fully realized to the nth degree, whatever nth is. It could not be better performed or acted. I don't think it's physically possible. But that's just what I thought. Tell me what you thought in the comments below. Do you understand what I mean about that sort of clash between a youthful director and like an older actor? It didn't quite meld, if meld is the right word, melt or weld together. But yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments below. And let me know if you know what that movie is just over the old shoulder here. I always have a movie on in all of my videos now. And they're great movies. They're always movies that I really like. So if you can know what this movie is, type it into the comments below. This movie is a wonderful, great, feminist movie. And I think everyone should see it. So let me know what you think it is. Let me know what you thought about this movie, Anemone. And smash that like button. Smash all the buttons on your keyboard. I would love it if you did that. I'd love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And I would love you. And everybody. I would love everybody.